So, so Paul writes this verse with two questions, but it's interesting because that's not really how we read this text. Sister Ida, you read it so perfectly and so eloquently. I love how you read it because we don't read this text like there's a question and another question. We read this text like there's a question and an exclamation point. Let me say it one more time. We don't read this text like there are two questions. We read this text like there's one question and an exclamatory response. Let me make it plain. Help us out here. The great theologian Howard Thurman says that we as black Christians have always been able to take the hard questions of life and the theological questions of life and reach up towards heaven and yank and tug on life's questions until it straightens out to become an exclamation point. And when we are left to ask this question, is there a balm in Gilead? We yanked on it as people and tugged on it and pulled on it until that question mark straightened out and we exclaim that there is a balm in Gilead. When we were left to ask the question, does God care about the righteous? We reached up towards heaven and yanked on that question until it became an exclamation point and we said, yes, God does care for the righteous. And this text is no different. We have taken this text and read it not like it's a question, but we've read it with an exclamation point, because if God is for us, who can be against us? So that it no longer exists as a question. This verse exists as a battle cry, a rallying cry when we deal with more than we are able to handle. If God is for us, who can be against us? And I don't know who I'm talking to in here. I don't know who I'm preaching to today. I don't know who I'm talking to today. But I don't know who needs to hear this today. But if you just reach up towards heaven in faith, and if you yank hard enough, God will give you an answer. God will give you something that will sustain your soul.